Trade ministers from Africa's top two economies, Nigeria and South Africa, are here for the continent's first ever trade week. They say that their nations support regional trade and are playing a key role towards implementation of the continental free trade area.
I think what we're trying to do is to make sure we formalize the trade better, make it easier to trade across borders, and actually increase the synergy in that trade, which means that it's more structured, it's better informed, and that the countries are cooperating with each other. And we think there's a lot of room for win-win partnership, both at the ECOWAS level and ultimately at the Africa level. And Nigeria is obviously playing a leading role in that.
South Africa is a big trading partner with much of the African continent, and we supply finished goods to the rest of the continent. And I think we know that the rest of the continent wants to industrialize, and that this is going to mean that there will be changes in the patterns of inter-regional trade, and also that we welcome that, because the larger the markets are and the more regional value chains we have, the better.
The Africa Trade Week aims at providing a platform for African states and trade stakeholders to define their contribution to the realization of the continental free trade area. But Africa needs more than knowing what to do for its trillion-dollar free market.
The importance of creating the right enabling environment and the right climate for trade and for business. And this is something I consider an absolute priority, not just for Nigeria, but for the entire continent of Africa, because it helps us lower the cost of doing business, make our people more competitive, and frankly, create a more export-led growth.
We have already in South Africa, we've developed a unit which we call Invest and Trade Africa, and it's premised on the idea that eventually African trade will start to be, as we get regional value chains, it'll be much more in intermediate products than in finished goods made by one and sent to the other. Not excluding that, of course, but there will be more intermediate goods. That's the biggest and growing part of world trade anyway. And so we're preparing for that.
Poor infrastructure and policy-related red tape pose the greatest challenge to Africa's quest to realize the continental free trade area in just about a year. Trade experts here, however, say the CFTA will not be put together overnight. Rather, it will be made a reality one step at a time. The question is, how long after the 2017 launch will it take to become a full-fledged continent-wide success? Girum, Chala, CCTV, Addis Ababa, Ethiopia.